I started my investing journey a couple of years ago, but by the end of last year, 2020, I had invested my very first $1 million. So in this video, I'll be sharing what I invested in, what I learned from the journey, and what I would be doing differently in the future. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you to the response so far on this YouTube channel. It is going so well, and I'm so glad to have you part of this community. Leon and I would like to know what other topics you would like us to focus on moving forward. We have a whole bunch of topics lined up, but we want to know what you would like. So please pop it in the comments down below of what is most important for you right now about the finance and freedom journey. And we're going to figure out what is the most common thread in these comments, and then we'll bring these topics to you. As always, like, subscribe, and turn the notifications on. And if you'd like extra exclusive information about finance and freedom topics, there is a mailing list that you can subscribe to, link in the bio. All right, so how did I invest my first $1 million and how did I diversify? It's important, no matter how much money you might have, whether it's 1,000 or 1,000,000, you do want to diversify. You don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. Property, my favorite. You might have seen my previous video where I talk about buying 3 properties, which was almost $1 million. However, not all of them were part of the first 1 million investment strategy. The first 2 were, and they were equal to about $600,000 US, or about 60% of the very first $1 million strategy. Since then, I have also put in about $50,000 to $70,000 US into renovations, which significantly has increased the value of the properties. As some of them were so run down, you couldn't really live in them, and now they're some of the most beautiful houses in the street. The renovations are definitely part of the investment strategy because it helps to increase the value of my investment massively. The reason I chose such a huge chunk to be in property is because honestly, it's forever going to be my favorite thing to invest in. I just adore property. Once you buy a property, it just feels like, that's my own personal bank right there. It is one of the safest investments that you can do. If you buy in the right areas, there is most likely the likelihood of the price of that property going up, especially if it's a rundown place and you improve it through renovations. Everybody's got their preferred investment strategy, and this one is mine and will continue to be mine in the future. Shares and stocks. This by far holds the smallest percentage of my investment pie, investing in stocks and shares of other companies. And the total of this investment at the end of 2020 was $0. Since then, I have invested a little bit in shares and stocks. However, it wasn't part of my first $1 million. The reason I didn't do this is because I wasn't educated enough about this world at all. As you'll learn yourself throughout this journey of this YouTube channel, investing and finances, it's pretty much an endless game, and you go wherever you're most excited to be. And this hasn't been an exciting part of my journey at all. I haven't even put any thought into it. However, the other day I got quite excited. I was watching the movie The Big Short and I was like, this is exciting. So I'm gonna start learning actually. And in the future, I wanna have 10% of my investments in shares or stocks. But first, education. Precious metals. The most common precious metals that people think of are gold and silver, and that's precisely what my companies have invested in. We have silver and gold all around the world in vaults, about 30% in gold and 70% in silver. Now, the reason why precious metals are so great is because they historically beat inflation, meaning that they are much less likely to lose money the way that cash loses money if it's just sitting in the bank. The estimated total of investments in gold and silver is $200,000 US, which makes up about 20% of my investment strategy for the first 1 million. The reason that my investments at the moment are just so safe with precious metals and property, things that don't skyrocket as much as shares and stocks can, or cryptocurrency, for example, is because I'm still new to this game. I absolutely want to create security for myself now to preserve the wealth that I've built. And also, I'm betting long term. I want to make sure that in the future, my lineage is set up as well as possible, and I have enough investments for myself in retirement, because I don't think that there's going to be any retirement funds, to be completely honest. So I want to have that money there as well. So I think that even in the future, I'm going to have about 20% of my portfolio to be in precious metals, except I'll also diversify a little bit more in the future, and that's going to include metals such as palladium and platinum. Cryptocurrency. Of the first $1 million investments, only about 20,000 was in cryptocurrency, or around 2%. This was also something that I wasn't too excited about investing in. I didn't know much. I was always just on the property train. always have been. But now I am also going to be expanding into this a lot more. Cryptocurrency is actually super exciting for me. I think it is part of the future. Of course, we don't know which one it's going to be or which coins are going to work. So you want to diversify. Myself, I have invested in Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ripple. And in the future, I also want to get some Ethereum and anything else that I come across that might be interesting. It has been about a year since I've invested in any cryptocurrency. I have been watching what's going on and seeing the rise in interest in this world and just trying to slowly get myself educated. And in the future, I'm hoping it'll be about 5 to 10% of my investment strategy. Business. Now, this can be a really great investment strategy, becoming an angel investor, sitting on the board of companies. If you find a company that you really believe in, it can work. Obviously, there's always risks involved because you don't know. Businesses historically, a lot of them don't make it. Last year, I did have the opportunity to invest in a company, about $180,000, and then I would have gotten, I think, 10% stake in the company. But after a lot of due diligence, and Leon did a lot of due diligence on this, everything was actually working and we were very excited for it. But in the end, it came down to not the right people running the company, which was a bit upsetting. But I will talk about more of this in the future because I actually do want to invest more in companies, but you do have to do your research and not get emotionally invested. I did personally myself invest in my own company last year as well with the first 1 million, and that was about $30,000. So about 3% of the investment strategy, putting it back into the company to help make more and generate more income. Cash. The rest of the first 1 million investment strategy that I used was left in cash in multiple currencies around the world in different banks. This totaled to be about 100,000 US. Now, I have mentioned that I don't like leaving things in banks, especially if the interest rate is low, because historically money is losing its value as it's sitting in the bank because of inflation. So you want to make sure that your bank account is paying good interest rates for you for having your money sitting there. And you do want to have them in multiple currencies because currencies can crash anytime and different bank accounts can shut down anytime. We've seen this in the financial crash. In 2008, there was 3 banks that just went under. And in Cyprus, people that had anything over $100,000 in Cyprus, everything just disappeared. Can you imagine? There was multi-millionaires storing the money in there. That is devastating. The reason I still have cash, and even though I've mentioned in previous videos, I don't like cash sitting in the bank, I don't because of the reasons that I just mentioned. You do want to have a little bit of liquidity on you. So if you're starting smaller, the 3 to 6 month emergency saving, that will be in cash, of course, because you want to have liquidity in case things go wrong. Or in my case, if I find a really great investment, I want to go for it really soon. You know, I want to pounce on it and get that opportunity. So I do have cash, but it is, as I said, spread around different currencies and banks all around the world. However, I will say with the volatility of the market right now and seeing how strange the market is in the world right now, I am looking to have as little cash as possible in banks. So I am looking at diversifying my cash into things like precious metals or crypto, something that I can easily take out still, but that isn't an actual physical cash. My future plans. Yes, I will be diversifying more in the future and playing more with risky investments, which I'm very excited about. It's all a game in the end. However, I will always be keeping about 50% of my portfolio to be in property because it is my absolute favorite. Right now, my properties are only diversified in 2 countries, so Australia and Iceland. In the future, I plan to have properties and land, productive land, all across the world. As I mentioned, I'll be keeping my 20% investment portfolio to be in precious metals. In the future, I am absolutely looking to buy more cryptocurrency. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to do that today. Shortly, I'll be starting to learn about stocks and shares. So I will be also taking you along on that journey from someone that is absolutely brand new and has feared this for a very long time until just very recently. 2 days ago, I started becoming very interested because I realized it's like an investigation. You get to find what is the good parts, what the bad parts are, make predictions and so forth. But as I said, having a foundation is really nice because then the other money, you can play around with it. Psychologists have said that you can withstand the loss of about 10% of your finances. So you don't really want to go outside of that because then more than anything, it actually messes with your mind and your mindset, and you can't compose yourself very well because you are so volatile. So only playing with money that you are okay to lose in the risky investments is something that I'm going to be pursuing. I am looking into investing into more businesses in the future as well. So I would love to be an angel investor and someone on the board for smaller companies. I have a lot of wisdom that I've acquired over the years when it comes to business. And I also want to invest in people. There are a lot of people that I'm looking around right now and seeing that they are so full of potential and they have so much to give, but they don't see what I see in terms of their business. So I will be approaching individuals as well in the future and saying, hey, I can help you out. I want to take a little percentage of the cut of the business that I help you grow. So that is something I'm definitely looking into soon. And then productive land is going to be something very much that Leon and I are looking forward to investing in the future. Geothermal powered farmland in Iceland where we will be growing organic food. And that is something I would love to do. I'd also love to build one of the first tiny home communities in Iceland that is all centered around community, great food, real education. So we'll see how that goes. There are different theories about what's going on in the financial world and the structures and then systems that we have right now. A lot of them are falling apart, so we don't know what kind of a huge shift we're going through in the world right now. I'm willing to explore different possibilities and invest in different strategies just to prepare myself for any eventualities. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like, subscribe, comment. Once again, the comments help immensely. And once again, if you have any questions about investing, let us know down below. Or if you want to hear any specific topics about any major problems you're having with your financial and freedom journey right now, please let us know and we'll determine what is the most popular questions and then we will get them out to you as soon as possible. Thanks again for being here and I'll see you in the next one. If you want to learn more about securing your independence through finance and freedom, make sure you're subscribed and your notifications are turned on. If you would like to receive exclusive information from us, sign up to our mailing list at abundantia.co or link in the bio and check out our social media down below as well. Myself and my team, we work one-on-one with clients that want to know more about wealth structures, tax structures, wealth creation, banking, passports, and so on. If you'd like to find out more, go to abundantia.co.